India's direct tax collection, which has now surged over 20% between April 1st to 10th of February in financial year 2024 as compared to the same period last year. Now, new figures stand at about 15.6 lakh crore rupees, which is over 80% of the revised estimates for the figures that should be collected in the year 2024, financial year 2024. Good news when it comes to compliance.
Excellent news. I think 20% is a good number in any case. Over the expected 17% rise, it comes at a good 300 basis points higher until the 10th of February. So it's good news, but I think the better news, Shweta, comes from the fact that compliance averaged at 20% actually comes with corporate India or corporate taxes. The increase or the delta in corporate tax collections last year versus this year till 10th of February is up about 13%, whereas individual taxpayers have increased to about 27%. So overall, a bulk of the citizens, a bulk of individual taxpayers now contributing to higher tax collection is the larger story here. That while it averages out at 20%, the increase is just about 13% for corporate India and about 27% for individuals.
Right. So a wider tax collection, but also means greater enforcement when it comes to TCS.
Yeah, TCS and TDS actually. So it is TDS more so in the case of, because these are not payments that you're making. This is pretty much the income that you're drawing and the tax that gets deducted from the source of that income, which is TDS. But I think add to that, there's greater compliance also by way of all the big data and all the AI and machine learning that the IT department is using to ensure that tax evasion becomes more difficult. So you cannot, once you're in the system, once you have a PAN card and you have filed your income tax return at least once, there is no way you'll be able to evade filing that income tax in subsequent years. And by way of this constant communication by the IT department, reminders coming by email, by SMS services, and the overall public awareness campaign which the government is running is ensuring that there is greater tax buoyancy. But the concern, however, Shweta, remains that a large bulk of the population that does file income taxes. So I think if numbers serve me right, out of the 7.4 crore Indians or 7.8 crore Indians who did file income taxes last year, almost 5.5 crore filed nil taxes. Right. So the tax liability, given the, I think at some level the ease, at another level the confusion with the old tax regime and the new tax regime which the government introduced, it ensures that a large chunk of the population will be able to get away without filing taxes. They'll file taxes but not really be held liable to pay taxes. So filing zero tax returns, that is something that the government has to really control now. So you cannot give this
there are two-pronged problems to this, Kartik. And on the basis of all the conversations we've had with tax experts so far, I think number one is the fact that we've not been able to expand our income tax net just as yet. Only 7.8 crore people. No, I mean only 7.8 crore people paying taxes in the country is very minuscule for a population of over 1.4 billion. That is number one. Number two is that, as you suggested, over 5 crore people are filing nil taxes. So they are filing, but they do not fall within the income bracket, which means that middle income and high income earning individuals have to bear the brunt of paying majority of the taxes.
You're right, Shweta. But even at 7.8 crores or so, it is almost 100%, if I'm not mistaken, about a 90% jump from where this net tax base of tax-paying citizens was about 10 years ago. Not giving due or undue credit to either government in power, but the fact is that tax base is doubling pretty much at every 10-year clip, which is pretty much the rate of growth. So actually you're adding just about 7 to 8% additional taxpayers every year, while the bulk of the population in India still gets added to the workforce every year. So you're adding more number of people to the to the official or formal or informal job net, but the same number is not, or the same rate of growth is not reflected in the number of additional taxpayers every year. So at one level, government still has a lot of work to do to arrest that problem of people slipping out of the tax authorities' lens and not paying or not registering themselves for paying taxes. So this is one part of the problem. The second problem is the overall tax collection. While it is increasing, at some level the data then suggests that there are perhaps more number of people, if not more number of people, then more volume of revenue or more volume of salaries coming to the middle income and higher middle income and beyond brackets, and not as much addition to net income when it comes to those who are under the, let's say in the new tax regime,
under
7 lakh rupee ambit, right? 7 lakh with standard deduction, 6 lakh in the overall net income bracket. So under 6 lakh rupee, you're adding a lot of people in the formal job market, you're adding new employees as per EPF4 data, but it seems that a bulk of that is under the 6 lakh rupee or the 7 lakh rupee net income, which is why they are able to not pay taxes and yet file zero returns.
Absolutely. So I think the fact that India's adding more people who are low job earners or low income earners as opposed to people who are earning over and above 7 lakh rupees, that is also one of the problems.
That seems to be the problem. So this inequality, as we call it, is definitely reflecting in the number of taxpayers increasing, but the number of zero tax liability being a large chunk of the net taxpayers.
All right. But all in all, good news when it comes to net direct tax collection for India for financial year 2024, over 80% already collected as of 10th of February. Remainder of the days remaining for the remaining chunk, 20% to be collected in financial year 2024.